Hey folks, we have another computer video. This is a computer I bought from a friend maybe a month or so ago. And this is a legendary, absolutely legendary machine amongst, IT people like myself. This is the Dell Latitude D630. This machine's quite legendary. It seems to be one of those machines that's very cheap to run, very easy to fix, and generally is pretty rock solid reliable as long as you get the all Intel version of this particular laptop. It came out during the Windows Vista era, so it came with Vista Business. This is a business class machine, so that's what it came with. So I'm sure, a lot of people avoided buying computers during the Vista era, but businesses clearly didn't. They just bought these, stuck XP on them. I can tell you that for a fact because a college that I went to 4 years ago, I was taking a Java class, and they had a bunch of these in like an amphitheater type classroom, all running Windows XP, running some sort of Java IDE. I forget if it was NetBeans or something else. I think it was the official, whatever the official program was. It's been a while, I can't remember. So, anyway, yeah, it's the Dell Latitude D630. To a lot of you, this needs no introduction, but maybe to some of you, this is a new machine that you just haven't had the chance to explore. So, we're going to take a look at it. I bought this machine used for my friend Tyler, whose handle online is Condulo, I believe. So, thanks for giving me a good deal on this, dude. This thing is a pretty awesome computer. I got the computer, I got a power adapter, not that power adapter, that's a cheap Chinese one. I have another one over there that I'll show you in a minute. It came with this. I got a docking station, and I got a dock for the docking station that lets you put a monitor on top of it, which I'll show later as well, but I'm going to show the main laptop first. So, here's the main laptop. It has a Jupiter Broadcasting sticker on it. They do good podcasting, so they have a YouTube channel as well, so if you like Linux and you like technology and stuff, check them out. They're pretty cool. Anyway, here's the top of the laptop. It feels like metal. It's like nice metal finish all around. Makes it feel very solid. Makes it feel like it could withstand something. So let's start with the side. Go over the machine. Kensington lock. Get a vent there. Audio, microphone, and headphone. 4-pin Firewire 400 or 1394. The wireless switch. A smart card slot. That's the hard drive tray there. PCMCIA. The front, I don't think has anything. No, just the battery. That's another thing we'll have to touch on is the battery. The batteries that these machines had at some point. Oh yeah, and there's holes here for the speaker, which also I'll have to talk more about on this particular machine. Then, of course, there's the typical Dell D-Bay optical drive. Oh yeah, I also got some accessories for this. I got a second optical drive, and I also got a SATA hard drive enclosure, so I could have dual hard drives in this thing if I really wanted to. That would be nice if you have like an SSD and a hard drive, so you could have a fast machine, but I'm probably not going to do that because the machine just seems too old for that to make that worth it. 2 USB ports here. And of course, typical Dell, there's ports on the back everywhere, at least this time period. Ethernet, 56K modem, 2 more USB ports, serial, VGA, barrel style power input, and of course the CPU fan output there. And that's really it for the top. Windows Vista sticker, and then there's the door for the memory. This has 4 gigabytes of memory in it, by the way. There's the Dell sticker there. Let me zoom in on that. And of course, there's the docking base connector right there. And a CPU fan intake on the bottom there. And strike zone. Not sure why that's there. Here's the battery, which still holds a charge but has 41% capacity. These batteries that were in D630s were absolute unequivocal junk. Back in this era, Dell's laptops were plagued by bad batteries. I'm sure some of you remember back then there was that. I forget what event it was. It might have been something. It might have been some event in Japan. I think it was in Japan. Somebody had a laptop at like a big conference or something, and I think it was like a Dell Latitude D600 series or something along those lines, and the battery exploded on the desk, and there was a fire and stuff. It didn't burn the place down, but it was a nasty, nasty explosion of the battery. And the same, I don't think quite the same thing happened to these batteries, but back then batteries were not very good in laptops, to say the least. These batteries in the D630s are made by Sanyo, and needless to say, they were absolute junk. The 9-cell batteries in these were tended to go bad. This is just a regular battery, and it's basically bad now at 41% capacity. It's enough to be basically a UPS, but not to be a laptop battery. So in the case of the D630, the Chinese batteries are actually better than what the OEM batteries were. So if you get a D630, get the Chinese batteries. They're actually better. Or you can get one of these batteries and have them rebuild it with cells that are not made by Sanyo. Assuming the cells were the problem in the first place, I would just go ahead and get a Chinese battery. That's probably what I'm going to do with this machine. If I ever plan to take it somewhere, I'll just buy a new battery for it. I don't plan to right now. I plan to leave it in its dock, just as a dedicated machine. Yeah. So, there you go. That's the story on the batteries with these. So let me turn this around and take a look on the inside. Look at that. Ain't she purty? The inside of this machine's in pretty nice looking shape. Keyboard's still good. The spacebar, I've noticed, on D630s does not feel very good. It has no real tactility at all. It just kind of goes straight down. Whereas the other keys have a little bit more resistance to them. But the scissor keys on these keyboards do feel pretty nice. That's one thing I complain about with Dell laptops. I've never liked keyboards on Dell laptops at all. The ones on the ThinkPads make these a joke. These keyboards feel pretty cheap most of the time. This I suspect is a replacement keyboard though. So it might just be because of that. There's your screen. Nice big screen. It does not have a built-in webcam because during this era, not every laptop did. I think only really the consumer-grade laptops at the time had them. Although my ThinkPad T61, which has the same basic hardware this does have a webcam in it. So your guess is as good as mine. I think that was just because of the time period. There's your logo there, Dell Latitude D630. You get media buttons up here for the sound. You get the power button there. You get a track point, which is very nice. I love track points. That's one thing I love about business class laptops in general is these. This is the primary pointing device I use on them. You also get a very nice trackpad. Trackpad on this laptop is pretty good. I don't like trackpads, but I can tell when one sucks, and this one doesn't suck. It's actually a good trackpad. As you can see, Condulo put his own stickers on it. He took the Windows Vista sticker off, put a Linux one on there, and then put a Samsung SSD sticker on there. Unfortunately, I didn't get the Samsung SSD with it. I got a 320 gigabyte hard drive, but honestly, 320 gigs is fine. It doesn't matter to me. I should probably take that sticker off, to be honest with you, since it doesn't have one in there. But it doesn't really matter that much to me anyway. Yeah, that's the laptop itself. I'll turn it on in a little bit, but I want to show you the power adapter first because I have something to say about that as well. Here's the power adapter, which is your typical Dell power adapter. It's the 90-watt adapter, I believe. And like every Dell power adapter from this era, it has a fraying wire, if I can find it. It's always on the DC cord. Same thing happened to my the Dell Latitude 2100 I have. Let me see if I can get this to focus. Right in this strain relief, the cord always seems to fray. And I'm not really sure why. It's right down there at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can just barely see it, but the cord starts to fray. This is why I tend to go sometimes for the Chinese adapters, or there are also later models of Dell adapters that don't do that. That Sansui 350A here on YouTube has told me about. So I'm gonna have to consult with him about which ones to buy. But there is an answer for that. So let me put this back over here. Since I'm over here, I'll show you the accessories I got with this thing. This is the dock you get that lets you put a monitor on top of it. It was actually made for a CRT monitor, but my CRT monitor is like 1024 by 768 the most, and that's too small. So I'm using this 1440 by 900 Acer monitor instead. Now, as you probably can't see, the dock is sitting under there. You can actually take the dock, move it back, and there you can see it more. You can take the dock out, put it in, then you move these two tabs out, and then push it back. And then, of course, the dock fits in there, gives you all the ports you need and everything. If all 3 USB ports filled up, you get PS2, keyboard and mouse, you get serial, parallel, VGA, DVI, dongle for, I think, composite and component video. You get modem and Ethernet ports, and of course you get the power connector. So it gives you a much nicer, more traditional outfit of ports than you would normally get on just the laptop itself. And what's nice about this thing is it actually has the dock itself has a connector on the bottom that connects into the bigger dock, and it lets you just turn on the PC with this button. And of course there's also an eject button here for ejecting your PC. So that's kind of nice. And let's go to some of the other accessories I got with it. These are the D-Bay accessories I got. This is the SATA hard drive enclosure. It takes a notebook hard drive, so that's kind of nice. And of course I just got a second DVD burner. Nothing special. So those are the accessories I got with it. So Kandula gave me a very good deal on this because he's a buddy, and yeah, this is a pretty awesome experience. It's a good first experience with a D630. So let's turn the machine on and take a look at it. I'm just using one of the Chinese adapters I have lying around because it was convenient. I wouldn't use it to charge the battery though. Alright, let's turn it on so I can show you what this machine has for a CPU and everything. Alright, there you have. It's a Dell Latitude D630. It's running an Intel Core 2 Duo. I believe it's a T7500, 2.2 gigahertz. So it's about 200 megahertz faster than my ThinkPad T61. So 4 gigs of 667 megahertz memory, DDR2, 320 gigabyte Western Digital Scorpio Black. Has a DVD burner, Intel Crestline graphics, which is just Intel 965, 1440 by 900 display, which coincidentally is the same size as the monitor that's up on top of the dock. That's funny. The audio controller is a Sigmatel 9205. There's a Connexent modem. Has Intel wireless in it, which is very nice for Linux. You don't have to install any extra drivers for Broadcom or something like that. It's using a 90 AC adapter. Type is 90 watt, so it's recommended you use the 90 watt adapter. I'm using a 65 watt Chinese adapter, so don't do that if you plan to charge the battery ever. Battery info. That's why it needs a 90 watt for battery like this. Battery health. Yeah, even the BIOS tells you. The battery is charging normally, however, it is reaching the end of its usable life. You may experience a longer operation time with a new battery. You may want to consider. Yeah, I don't think that's how you spell that. Consider purchasing a replacement battery now. Modular bay. You can also get a modular bay battery for these, but I'm sure those are also made by Sanyo and also sucked, so I would advise against that. Also, it is Sunday. Yay, Sunday. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of crazy options in here. You can actually shut the microphone off in the BIOS, which I find very odd. Has an ambient light sensor, or at least the option for one. Don't know if it's installed. Brightness, primary video, dock video card. I think you can actually get a version of the dock of a docking station that lets you put a video card in it. Not sure what kind or anything like that, but hard drive password, that's an evil thing. TPM modules, so that's for corporate security there. Multi-core support, you can turn that on and off. Not sure why you'd want to do that, but maybe for Windows 2000. Dynamic acceleration, speed step. Yeah, nothing all that exciting in here, so let's show you the machine booting up. True to the stickers on the machine, I've put Linux on here. The version of Linux that I've grown fond of lately. I've been using Ubuntu 14.04 Mate edition. It's spelled mate, but pronounced Mate. So we'll watch it boot up. And I'll talk about what I had to do to this laptop to get it in tip-top shape. I had to replace two things on it. I had to replace the trackpad assembly, the entire trackpad assembly there. Here's the old one. And the reason why is because the left button on the track point controls did not work. That was it. The trackpad and these two buttons work, but these did not. So I replaced that with a new one that I got from a friend of mine here. I forget his YouTube name. The other thing I had to replace is the speaker. This laptop actually has worse speakers than my ThinkPad T61, and that's kind of disappointing. But you just kind of have to live with it. It uses one mono speaker in the front. And when I got this thing, the speaker is making awful noises when any bass went through it.
There's a Sony Discman, or they don't call it a Discman, they call it a Walkman. It's one of those laser balls that sort of does everything here. There's FM, AM, TV, audio, and weather bands, and also plays MP3 encoded CDs, as well as Sony's own 8-track suite.
It just turns into just like pretty much. And this is why. This speaker was absolutely trashed. Just look at that. There's holes in the surround. It's ripped all the way through. It's very, very nasty. So I had to replace. So I bought a new speaker for like $3 on eBay and replaced it. But that's just, ugh, that's horrible. So look at that. Look at that. It's horrible. No wonder it sounded like crap. So I put a new one in, and it doesn't sound like crap anymore. So I can at least Skype with it and do other stuff that otherwise wouldn't have been able to have been done without sound. So that's very nice. I don't want to use external speakers on a laptop because that ruins the point of it being a laptop. Okay, let's log in here. This is what Linux tells me. Your battery may be broken. It has 41.5% capacity. So, yeah, the battery is pretty much toast, which is to be expected with pretty much any D630. So, this laptop runs Linux beautifully, absolutely beautifully. I used it just earlier to check a website for somebody, actually, for SSL certificate stuff. So, I've been doing real work with it. Where's system monitor? I think that's an accessories. No, system tools. There we go. There you go. Not much that's too exciting to see here. Yeah, it has a Core 2 Duo T7500, so it's just barely slightly faster than my my ThinkPad T61 for speed. So yeah, there you have it. Not really much that's all that exciting to see here. Close that down. Let's do an LSPCI just so you can see what type of hardware is in here. Full screen that. I haven't changed the color of the terminal yet. This is one thing I always do. on Linux, I changed the color of the terminal to green on black because that's how a terminal is supposed to look. Ah, that looks nice. There you go. So as you can see, it has a lot of Intel hardware in it. ICH8 based chipset. This is pretty much Intel through and through, apart from the audio. That's Sigmatel. So that I got very lucky in getting this particular one. So that's pretty awesome. Dell Latitude D630. It's a pretty legendary machine. What makes these machines special is that they're very cheap. They're very easy. They're cheap to run. Apart from the RAM nowadays, very easy to fix. I had to take off the palm rest to put the new trackpad on, and that actually was not that bad compared to some other laptops. The flaws I found is it had loose hinges when I got it, which is typical of Dell. Dell has crappy hinges on most laptops because they just do that. This laptop had absolutely been rode hard and put away wet, and I was able to fix it up very easily, and now it's a perfectly running laptop. So I like it a lot. Now I think it's appropriate to show you what it's like in the dock. Okay, I have it in its docking base now. Whoops. As you can see, it just kind of sits down there, you know, unassuming. And then you can just control the on and off from this button up here. And I have it everything plugged into this Acer monitor here. This Dell keyboard that came with my Dell Dimension C521 that is now owned by UXW Bill. This Logitech mouse that I've used since 2006. This is a actually, no, this mouse is younger than that. I had this in 2009 or 10 when I went to my first college. That's where I bought it. So I'll show you what it's like in the dock. Hit that button to turn it on right there. There you go. Turns on and you get the Dell stuff on the monitor, and it acts like it's a desktop, basically, which is very nice, actually, for over here because it's a nice compact setup. It's almost like having an Optiplex, which I think is what they were going for. There you go. Showing up on the screen there. It's excellent. I've been using this as a workstation here for a while. Man, this room is messy. I need to clean it up. Battery may be old or broken. Well, there you go. In the dock, it acts like a desktop would, which is very nice. I really like that. So I can just be here and I can, you know, pretend to do work and open up DOSBox instead. And, you know, play DOS games or whatever. So, yeah, that's the Dell Latitude D630 in the dock. I'm sure this is the way many businesses use D630s for situations where they would put something on a desk but then have to take their laptop to a meeting or something. It'd be perfect for that. Same with just regular docking stations, but this is nice because it's an all-in-one sort of thing. You just take it, you just take it out of the dock, and then you you know, take it to your meeting, take it back here, stick it into the dock connector, and you have your whole desk right there. So there you have it, Dell Latitude D630, a pretty legendary machine among IT people and you know, businesses and government agencies and things like that. Very rock solid, reliable machine during a time when the operating system was not up to par with that particular standard. So yeah, there you have it, the Dell Latitude D630. It's a pretty legendary machine. If you want a machine that can do basic work nowadays, that's very cheap to run, very easy to fix, definitely grab one of these. Try to get one with 4 gigs of RAM though, or try to get 4 gigs of RAM into one, and you'll be good to go. Anything beyond that will be astronomically expensive for RAM. So there you have it, guys. That's Dell Latitude D630. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and have a good one, everybody. Ciao.